What is up, everyone? I've got a review of Neill Blomkamp's new movie for you right now. It is Demonic. It stars Carly Pope as, well, Carly, a woman who explores the rift between her and her estranged mother by using a simulation technology. And, of course, given the title of the film, guess what? There is a demonic force involved. If you don't know much about the movie beyond that brief synopsis that I just gave you, I might recommend steering clear of things with plot information in them. I mean, even the trailer for that matter. One of the high appeal components of Demonic, for me at least, was just the mystery of it all and exploring it. And I think it would be a real shame to ruin any of those elements before you get to experience them in the context of the films. Just wanted to put that out there on this one. That being said, I loved the overall concept of Demonic, this idea of this technology existing and what it's being used for. As someone who really gets into good world building, this idea, the idea itself, definitely scratched that itch. Plus, I do think Neill Blomkamp's sensibilities do make him a mighty good match for directing this kind of story. He knows what he's doing in the visual effects department, and he's also very ambitious when playing in that realm, and I think that this scenario does call for those kinds of qualities. But sometimes having all the right skills and tools doesn't necessarily guarantee a winning finished product. And sadly, I think that's what happens here. First off, broadly speaking, I found the movie very, very unpleasant. And I've said this before many times. I love dark stories. That is not the issue here whatsoever. It's more like having the dark and scary stuff, but presenting them in a slow and dreary way. Demonic has surface level, big picture intrigue, but just fails to spark that deep level of engagement from the material. It's like I was hanging on to that core concept I wanted to know more about and engage with more for dear life, but the film itself was just pushing me further and further away from it. I did think that Pope was very good in the lead role, but there's just something about Demonic overall that creates a pretty significant detachment from her and really all of the characters for that matter. The heart of this movie is meant to be the relationship between Carly and her mother, but there's just something missing there, and I suspect that something stems from the lack of depth in how losing her mother, in a sense, impacts Carly beyond face value anger. There's also a pretty big handful of things in this one that they don't quite add up. Things along the lines of, how could this character know B right now, but they didn't seem to know A before? That type of thing that just doesn't make sense. I have to be blunt about it. I didn't really like Demonic. I'm giving the movie 2 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. What the events of this film ultimately mean for Carly and what happened between her and her mother is it is a massive swing and miss for me. I'm not going into detail on that, but it feels extremely thin in the end and I guess kind of ridiculous. But I will say there are some creative choices happening here that I really did appreciate, even if those choices weren't used to the fullest. I am very into the idea of exploring hard human truths and experiences via this technology, but more specifically, I'd like to spend a whole lot more time with the folks who have possession of this technology in the movie. That thing in it feels like a really interesting world to explore and something that could maybe even warrant more Demonic movies. But, when you start with a bit of a flat dud like this movie, I guess the chances of any more happening are slim to none. So that is where I leave you on Demonic. If you choose to see the film, do tell me what you think in the comments section below. I would really love to know what you think about it as well. Before we say goodbye, you know what has to happen. I got a Patreon shout out to give because this review is coming your way courtesy of Ian. Ian is one of the best of the best. He loves genre just as much as I do. He knows his stuff, and just as much as I love giving him recommendations, he makes sure that I got all the important things on my radar. So Ian, thank you so much for being here and for being super cool. To everybody else out there, like and share this review before you leave it, and stay tuned. We've got more on the way very, very soon.